What are we challenging ourselves with? Or are we just coasting through life, just not really doing anything special? Are we taking opportunities that are being presented to us? Are we really serious about becoming better leaders? That's today on the 306 podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 306 podcast. My name is Scott. Thank you so much for joining us. I am going solo today here on the show. For the last month, we have had guests. We talked to Rob Z for 2 weeks. We talked to Rob Kowalski for a week, and last week we had Micah Marshall here. And so we've been talking to these leaders and seeing how they are living out and actually doing things to help lead people in different areas of their lives. And with Rob Z, he's helping lead small business owners and understanding the crucial need for being on social media and using video. And Rob Kowalski is leading people to understand the importance of saving yourself for marriage in his new book, Why Waiting Works. And last week we talked to Micah Marshall from Refuge Youth Network on the importance of developing our youth, our young people, into tomorrow's leaders. And so today I want to challenge you. I want to ask you, what are you doing in your life to challenge yourself to become a better leader? And if you're sitting there and if you're saying, you know what, I have really no desire to become a leader, that's fine. Not everyone is meant to be a leader. It's kind of like not everyone who says I want to be a YouTube star really wants to be a YouTube star, because they find out that at some point they have to put up or shut up. They need to actually start putting stuff out there on YouTube, or they kind of find themselves being a hypocrite. Like, I want to be a YouTube star, but I don't want to have to put in the work to become a YouTube star. And so that's an issue. That's a problem. And that's kind of where we were with the 306 podcast. I mean, with Love Local in general. I wanted to start pushing out content, and I said, it's not the right time, it's not the right time, it's not the right time. And then I finally said to myself, no. If this is going to get off the ground, I need to lead it. I need to be the one that heads it up, and I need to start doing things. I need to quit passing over these opportunities to get it started and get it started. If you're new to the podcast, and I would encourage you to like and subscribe, share this with your friends, share this with friends of yours who own businesses or in marketing or are looking for things in life that they just can't find answers to. They're looking to develop themselves. They're looking to lead themselves. Share this content with them. It might be something that's good for them. One of the things that I'm trying to go through right now is I've been seeing all of these ads, and you're going to make fun of me, and rightfully so, I would say. But I keep seeing these ads on Twitter and on Instagram and Facebook, and it's for men's underwear. And it's Mack Weldon and this MeUndies kind of battle, and it's like, seriously, this is what I'm challenging myself with. I was up at 11 o'clock last night trying to do research on underwear. Like, I get it. It's a men's basic. It's an essential thing that every guy wears, or at least should be wearing. But that's what I'm challenging myself with. Is that the best use of my time? Probably not. The other thing that I'm challenging myself with is being in the scripture every day and taking whatever I'm reading, whether it's a chapter in Proverbs or if it's a passage in the New Testament, and figuring out, okay, this is what I read. These are some of the lessons. These are some of the instructions that I've gotten out of this passage of Scripture. These are some of the things that I'm going through in my life. These are some of the things I'm struggling with. These are some of the things that that I'm doing well. These are some of the things that I'm not doing well. These are some of the things that I haven't even thought of before. These are struggles that I don't want to address right now. These are things that I just don't want to uncover. I don't want to go down that road right now. And so I try to match all of these things up. And then I say to myself, or I pray and I say, how do I make this work? How do I take what I've read from Scripture? Because I believe that Scripture is the answer. It has the answers to everything we're going through. If we look through the lens of Scripture and place that into our lives, then we have seriously unlimited potential. So I take all of that and I try to put a plan together for that day, just for that day. And I try to follow it as closely as possible. And I just meditate and I pray on it all day long. This is what I should be doing. This is what I learned. This is what I'm going through. This is the action plan forward. And I will tell you that it's not some kooky, weird, supernatural. Well, it might be supernatural, I don't know, from God. But it's not this some kooky thing where it's like each and every day something happens that reinforces that. It doesn't. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But as a leader, we need to be able to look at a situation and then be able to decipher what the problem is with the information that we have and come up with a solution, with a way forward. And we may not be faced with that exact thing every single day. Because as leaders, we're always learning. We're always reading books, listening to podcasts. We're always reading studies and articles and all of this other stuff. But what we read that day may not be applicable today. Sometimes it might be. Other times it's not. But if we're not reading, if we're not diving into other things, how are we challenging ourselves? Are we taking just the basic steps to becoming a better leader? And what are these basic steps of becoming a leader? Are you stepping up in opportunities where you could lead? Maybe it's helping someone learn how to change oil in their car. Maybe it's signing up to teach a VBS, Vacation Bible School, or a Sunday school class. Or maybe it's taking on that new project at work. They're like, hey, we need someone to head up this whatever, this company picnic, this community this community event that we're putting together. We need someone to head it up. Are you saying, that's not big enough for me? I want to do something big and meaningful so that everyone sees what I'm doing. That's pride. That's not leadership. We need to be looking at each and every opportunity that's presented to us. Because if we're being honest, if we're not living under a rock, there are opportunities being presented to us almost weekly. If you're married, if you have kids, there's opportunities daily to step up and to lead. As fathers, as husbands, we are called to be the primary leader and the primary example in the family. And you might be saying to yourself, well, I'm not married. If you're in high school, if you're in college, if you're just starting out your career, you're still young, you're still full of energy, then there's even more opportunities for you to lead. Maybe you finally want to start that little side business. You need to lead yourself in order to do it. The number one person that we need to lead is ourselves. If we can't lead ourselves, we can't lead other people. And we can't say, oh, well, I'll figure it out as I go. Leadership is not really something you figure it out as you go. Leadership isn't something that you just magically absorb from watching this podcast or watching a series or buying a book. At some point, you need to put up or shut up. It's great to do research. It's great to be doing things that improve your knowledge, but at some point, you need to start applying those things that you're reading and you're learning and you're thinking about to what you're actually doing. Because you can have all of the knowledge in the world about leadership, but if you're not demonstrating it, if you're not providing that leadership to other people, if you're not being a leader, then what's it for? If you're just looking to accumulate information without living it out, what's the point? What's the point? For me, I would want someone who is, or for me, whenever I read something, I want to be able to use that information. And maybe it's something very small at the beginning, where you can lead through a conversation, where you can lead someone in an idea, in a thought. Many times leadership is in the form of encouragement. Maybe there's someone in your life who needs encouragement. Maybe there's someone in your life who needs just someone to listen to them. If you want to be a great leader, you need to be a greater servant. And that seems backwards. If I'm going to lead a whole bunch of people, or if I'm going to lead one person, I need to be on top, and I need to be the one that they're striving to be. No. You need to be the one that is serving and investing in other people. That is how you lead. You lead by example, not by authority. And if you are someone, like we talked to Micah, Pastor Micah last week, if you're someone that's leading youth, they don't lead because of authority anymore. They lead because of an example that is being set. And regardless of the situation you're in, if you're in school, if you're in college, if you're like I said, just starting out in your professional career, or maybe you're even in between jobs and you are really struggling right now, take the time to invest in yourself. Take the time to lead yourself. But the other part of leadership, it's not just a one-way street where you're leading and you're living and you're doing things. Maybe the most important part of leadership is being led yourself, is having someone who is helping to lead you. If you're pouring out, if you're serving, if you're leading, and you are doing everything in your power to move people forward, what is moving you? You need to have people in your life that are encouraging you, that are leading you, that are people that you can go to, people that are serving you. And if you don't have that, you can lead for a while, but you will notice very quickly that that burden gets awfully heavy. And it will eventually become this crushing burden. Because here's the thing. I would argue you talk to any influential leader ever lived, they have a core team of people, of mentors, of friends, of family, of coworkers that are pouring just as much into them as they are pouring into other people. Because it's not easy being a leader. It's not always fun being a leader. It's not always popular being a leader, especially when you have to stand on really uneasy ground and stand up for what you believe in. A true leader will not falter. A true leader will not cave. Now, if a leader does have a change in perspective, they come forward with it. You don't come under a change of perspective by being put in a corner. That's not a true change of perspective. And that's not how a true leader announces their change of perspective, because that happens. People change. But a true leader is someone who is, when they are backed up against the wall, regardless of the circumstances, they are willing to stand for what they believe. And are we passing up opportunities to stand up for what we believe? If there's a conversation happening and we know that it's going down the wrong path, and we don't step up and step into that conversation and at least speak the truth, if we don't speak truth into a conversation that's lies, that's deceptive, we just missed out on an opportunity to lead. By not doing something, you're doing something. And it's not the right something. So let me end it with this. What are you challenging yourself with? And if you're not challenging yourself, let this be the opportunity for someone to challenge you. Let this be the opportunity where you say, all right, now I need to do something. If I really want to be a leader, if I really want to take that plunge, if I really want to accomplish this thing, if I really want to get my life straightened out, if I really want to start that side business, I'm going to start challenging myself. I'm going to start putting in timelines. I'm going to start putting in real solutions to the problems that I'm putting up in front of me. I don't have money. Here's my solution to make some money. Let this be your day. Let this be the podcast that you can look back and say, that dude pushed me. And he was the first person to pour in me, because trust me, you can do it. It's not that being a leader is a difficult thing to understand. Many times people will say, yeah, I know what I needed to do, but yet I didn't do it because I didn't have the backing. I didn't have the support. Let me be the first person to support you. Let me be the first person to speak some truth into your life that you can be a good leader. You can be a great leader. It's not that you need to lead 1 million people or even 1,000 people or 100 people or 10 people. Start with one person. Start with yourself. Start leading yourself down the road that you want to live. I love the comparison. I love the analogy. And I actually heard this from my pastor on Sunday, so I'm going to steal it from him. Sorry. He took it from someone else, I think, so it's okay. But if you want to go somewhere, if you're unhappy with your life, take 2 pieces of paper. On one page, list every obstacle or every challenge in your life right now. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I don't have the influence. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have whatever it is. Write it down. And then on the other side of the paper, write down what your goals are, what your dreams are. I want to have that sports car. I want to have a better relationship with my parents. I want to have a closer relationship with Jesus. I want to be able to go on a vacation. I want to be able to have time to spend with my kids. I want whatever it is. And then look at those 2 lists and ask yourself, are the decisions that I'm making leading me towards this list or this list? And if they're leading you towards the list of all of your obstacles, that's where you're going to end up. But if you're looking at your list and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to start making decisions that push me towards this list, the list of things that I want to do, you will see your life change. And once you start seeing the improvements in your life, then you can start speaking truth to other people and saying, you know what? I did this. I know that it works, and I can help you and support you and lead you and encourage you so that you can do the same. That's what we need people to start doing. If you have gotten, the only thing you need to do in order to lead people is to be one step ahead of them. You just have to be one step ahead of them, and you can lead other people. And so start looking for opportunities. Spend some time, and if you're not a follower of Jesus, I would ask you, start reading Scripture. Start reading Proverbs. But spend some time every morning thinking of opportunities that might be coming your way, opportunities that have been presented in the past, and start asking yourself, what are things that I'm consuming? What are issues that I'm having that information can help solve? And what is going to be my action plan to start leading myself correctly so that I can start leading others as well? Next week, I want to come back and I want to challenge you. And I would love for you to write in the comments down below what you want to lead yourself to be. Who do you want to be? What are things that you want to accomplish in your life? And I will write mine down below as well. It could be more than one thing. It could be a dozen things. But you need to start. It's summertime. It's hot. It's bloody hot here in the Northeast, or the Rust Belt, the Mid-Atlantic, Great Lakes, the armpit of America, whatever you want to call this area that I live in, southwestern central Pennsylvania area. I mean, it was like 90 yesterday, and I get it. Down in Texas, it's like 110. In Arizona, it's like 120. I get it. But for us Northerners, us Yankees, it's hot, But now is the time. Let today be the day that you are going to start reprioritizing and rethinking the decisions that you are making. Let today be that day. And if you want me to help hold you accountable, I'll do that. I'll do it for as many people that I can do that for. And if you're writing in the comments below, let's come together. Let's help each other. Let's become this local movement here on the 306 podcast. And if you want to do that, I would love for you to subscribe. You don't have to. But if you would subscribe, I would really, really appreciate it. It would just help you get notified whenever we upload a new podcast, and hopefully very soon. And again, this is something that I need to work on too. I need to start putting out additional content that I've been talking about doing. And so I need to be held accountable just as much as you need to be held accountable, because we're all in the same boat. We all have the same struggles. We all need encouragement. We all need lead. So thank you so much for watching. This was the 306 podcast. Again, my name is Scott. Again, please subscribe, like, share, comment, do all that fun stuff that everyone tells you to do on their videos. And we will see you next week, next Thursday, for the new release here on the 306 podcast. Have a great day, everyone.